think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
We all get scared and creeped out from time to time, and in movies it's no different. But when you go and see a horror movie, you usually expect the usual jump scares and the pure unadulterated gore. My point being is, when you expect to be scared, it kind of waters the experience down a bit. Say you go and see The Exorcist and it made you shit your pants, well, what the fuck did you expect? But what if you're a kid watching a movie or show that you had no idea was going to play that kind of trick on you? I bet those are the kind of scares that you keep with you for a long time. This is something I'm pretty sure happened to all of us as kids, and that's why I've decided to share my top 10 moments in movies and television that used to freak me the fuck out when I was little. But before I begin, no, I didn't find the tunnel scene in Willy Wonka scary, and no, Night on Bald Mountain never freaked me out as a kid. But I'm not bragging that I was made of steel or anything, as you will soon find out. Number 10. Donovan choosing poorly in The Last Crusade. Keep in mind I was super young when I saw this. And then I ran to my parents screaming my head off. And yeah, you're probably saying right now, really? That scene scared you but not the opening of the Ark in Raiders? Now, I did see Raiders before I saw Last Crusade, but my parents always told me not to look at the Ark when it opened, like what Indy tells Marion, so I wouldn't. That technically makes the opening of the Ark not a childhood memory, as I saw the scene when I was a little older. Looking at the disintegration scene now, though, it's still a cool effect, but pretty tame when it comes to creepiness. Nowadays, it just makes me wonder why the hell Indy's never turned into one of those crazy religious guys you see on the street from the shit he's seen. I mean, doesn't that prove the existence of a higher being in the Indy universe? He just had a conversation with a 1,000-year-old knight, and even witnessed the water of life erasing a bullet wound. Then again, he did witness the extermination of a bunch of Nazis through the power of the Ten Commandments, and summon the wrath of Shiva on a poor bastard. Proof of an otherworldly presence does seem like an everyday thing in those movies. So yes, aliens make perfect fucking sense in an Indy movie. We accepted this, and even fucking this. So aliens make perfect fucking sense. Rant over.
He chose poorly.
Number 9, number 9, number 9.
The Eds Are Coming episode of Ed, Edd, and Eddy. Yeah, I know this is a weird one, and kind of a late one too, since this episode only aired 5 years ago. Ed, Edd, and Eddy! If you're not familiar with the show on Cartoon Network, you just need to know that it was pretty much the only show on Cartoon Network at the time. Seriously, that was all they would fucking show for hours. The show was the usual slapstick cartoon crap that was based heavily on finding kids being mentally damaged hilarious. And yes, I would sometimes watch it when it was on. But this one particular episode I saw was just dark. The plot of the episode revolved around one of the kids having a dream about the world being destroyed by aliens. He wakes up only to find that similar things are happening in real life. I feel really lame saying that this actually unnerved me when I saw it, but when you've seen any of the other episodes, it's usually just stupid nonsense and cartoon violence. But this episode has none of that. It's played totally straight. The characters don't even act like themselves at times, and instead actually act like kids who are legitimately afraid of something. It's fucking eerie. Of course the joke's on me though, as I later realized I had only seen the first part of a half-hour special they were having. I guess I was just too bothered by it to notice it wasn't exactly over. And of course the whole alien thing just turns out to be a huge misunderstanding. But to this day, the whole series of Ed, Edd, and Eddy remains like a demented childhood memory. It certainly doesn't help that there's a creepypasta story on the internet about a lost Ed, Ed, and Eddie episode where the animation is choppy and the kids actually fucking kill each other. Various theories have also been thrown around about how the lack of adults in any passage of time means the kids must be in purgatory. Or even that the show represents Dante's hell, some of the kids being living embodiments of the 7 deadly sins. So ever since watching that weird-ass episode, I can never look at that fucking show the same way again. Still gives me chills. Number 8. Judge Doom from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. As an honorable mention, the brutal murder of an adorable cartoon sneaker also traumatized me a bit. Now, like Last Crusade, you could argue that this isn't exactly a kid's movie to begin with, but I just remember fucking loving it when I was little. Even with this scene. Oh, this fucking part of the movie always got to me as a kid. I've always had this weird phobia about freaky bug eyes, and look at this asshole! Might as well tell someone who's afraid of heights to go jump out of a plane. And that ball-wrenching voice he has.
Kill your brother! I talk! Yes! Wait!
It's because of Christopher Lloyd doing this that I can never look Doc Brown in the face in Back to the Future. And don't get me started with this creepy pedo ass in the Page Master. Nah, I'm just kidding. Doc Brown is awesome. Fuck Page Master though. Number 7. The Brave Little Toaster. Just the whole fucking movie. Well, okay, I could probably pinpoint a few scenes. For those who don't know, The Brave Little Toaster is about a walking, talking toaster, electric blanket, lamp, vacuum cleaner, and radio that set off to find their master who grew up and abandoned them. Kind of like Toy Story, but makes way less sense. I mean, do you remember your childhood toaster? Do you just spontaneously miss it for no reason and go out and search for it? Well, this weirdo does. But I digress. This movie, as zany as it seems, is actually really fucked up. First, of course, is this. Probably one of the creepiest and most badass moments in a children's cartoon. But if the toaster's nightmare scene didn't traumatize you enough as a kid, you also have a talking air conditioner that fucking kills himself. Seriously, it holds no bearing to the plot of the movie. The creators just said, fuck kids, we'll introduce a character then have him fucking explode minutes later. Or how about the song Worthless, sung by a bunch of beat up cars being fed to a compactor? That's pretty fucking dark, man. And keep in mind, this was back when I was used to anthropomorphic objects just wanting to serve you dinner through song and dance. To this day though, you never see such a kid-friendly concept taken with such seriousness. Except again for maybe Toy Story. But the movie still sets itself apart for some very uncomfortable memories. Number 6. The 1931 Frankenstein movie. Yeah, what do you know? A movie that's supposed to be scary. I saw this movie when I was really young, but for the most part, I already knew the whole Frankenstein story. What I wasn't prepared for, however, was the extremely dark and gothic atmosphere the movie would have. It makes the disturbing nature of the plot seem a lot more believable. You can practically taste the death. The yummy, yummy death. The one scene that still stays with me is the drowning of the little girl. As a kid, I wasn't expecting anything messed up to happen at this part. It's just a little girl showing the monster flowers and how to toss them in a lake. It's actually kind of sweet how she isn't instantly afraid of the monster, but rather just wants to be friendly with it. The monster gets so excited about throwing flowers, though, that he decides to throw the girl in the lake. And she drowns. What the hell, man? What the hell? I know this scene is supposed to portray the monster's dangerous, childlike ignorance and curiosity or whatever the hell, but I was like 7. I couldn't have given 2 shits about some deep and symbolic portrayal of this abominable fuck. I've just been scarred for life. And since we're on the topic of Frankenstein, this is Frankenstein. Not this. This is the monster. He doesn't have a name. Or at least if someone did decide to give him a name, why the fuck would they name him Frankenstein? Does this look like a Frankenstein to you? Well, okay, maybe if he had a yarmulke. Bottom line though, Frankenstein freaked me out as a kid. Yeah, leave it to a timeless horror classic to make a kid from the 90s shit himself. Number 5. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And no, not the Tim Burton movie. I saw this movie during class in elementary school, and you're probably thinking the scene that scared me was the one with the Headless Horseman. No, I'm talking more about the scene that happens after the Headless Horseman. Now, I've handled the death of Bambi's mom. I could endure all the depressing shit in Fox and the Hound, but it's another thing entirely when you kill off a main character at the end of a kid's movie. You built up this happy-go-lucky character for half an hour, killed him, and then showed us that the girl he fancied and the guy who was an asshole to him lived happily ever after like they didn't even give a shit. The fucking end. It's not so much scary as it's just depressing as all fuck. That would be like killing Ariel off in The Little Mermaid, then showing us how happy Eric and Ursula turned out to be at the end. Which is ironically what happens in the real Little Mermaid story, but the point still stands. It's just so unlike Disney to mercilessly kill off their hero at the end of the movie. Especially when this movie is in no way some sort of epic that tries to teach a moral. It plays out more like an episode of Looney Tunes. And to rub salt on the wound, they even joke a happy ending and then just shrug it off.
Rumors persisted that Ichabod was still alive, married to a wealthy widow in a distant county. But of course, the good Dutch settlers refused to believe such nonsense.
Yeah, fuck those rumors, Bing Crosby. He's dead as shit.
He's down looking for a head to swap, so don't try to figure out a plan.
You're such a dick, Disney. Number 4. The pink elephant scene from Dumbo. Again, we have a movie where everything's colorful, everything's magical, everything's all Disney and fairy dust. But then the storyboarders drop a sheet of acid and then everything goes all batshit. Out of nowhere, we have the delusions of a drunk elephant, which has nothing to do with the story and, of course, carries on afterwards like nothing ever fucking happened. This seems to be a pattern in old children's movies. The only difference with this one, though, is how fucking terrifying it is. It's just those lifeless eyes.
What'll I do? What'll I do? What an unusual view.
That creepy-ass song.
I am not the type to faint when things are odd or things are quaint. But things, you know.
The only thing that salvages it is the fact that the phantasmic version of the song fucking rocks. The next time I drink, I can only fucking hope this isn't what I see. Number 3. Courage the Cowardly Dog. Courage the Cowardly Dog was the other show they ever played on Cartoon Network, and was about an adorable pink doggy living on a farm in the middle of nowhere, enduring a gauntlet of childhood nightmares. More specifically, of these scenes. One being this random dream Courage has in the middle of an episode.
You're not perfect.
What the fuck, right? Well, just you wait. You also have the creepy uncle episode where Courage is locked in the bathroom with this shit. All the while we hear the creeper's inner thoughts about people he's shaved while Danny Elfman music plays in the background. Oh, and remember the episode where the ordinary farmer finds a cursed Egyptian tablet? What in the flying fuck is that? I mean, just look at it! Look at it! Yeah, the show loved to mix animation styles, just to crank up the creepiness, like this part. Yep, you saw that right. This show just pulled that Large Marge shit on you. And speaking of Large Marge... Number 2. Large Marge from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. This is such a bright and fun-loving movie, sans Clown Nightmare. But about halfway into the film, Pee-wee is stranded on a highway in the middle of the night. He gets picked up by a truck driver, and all of a sudden you've entered a movie that just decapitated whatever movie you thought you were watching, and is drinking the blood through its severed neck hole.
I saw the worst accident I ever seen.
Oh god.
There was this sound, like a garbage truck dropped off the Empire State Building.
Oh god.
And when they finally pulled the driver's body from the twisted, burning wreck,
Here it comes.
it looked like this.
Like most of the shit on this top 10, this part comes out of fucking nowhere, and the movie just carries on like nothing ever happened. This movie's so odd to begin with that as a kid, you're just waiting for it now to pull that kind of shit again and ruin your childhood even more. But of course it doesn't. And I like how afterwards Pee-wee is all freaked out that he was just picked up by a woman who's been dead for years. Well, fuck that. What about the fact that you just saw this? Oh yeah. Take a good long look at it. And the number 1 creepiest moment from my childhood is the ghost kids in Coraline. Yes, I know I wasn't a kid when I saw this movie, but mark my words, there are munchkins out there who share my pain. The movie is about a little girl named Coraline who hates her parents, so escapes to a different world where she eventually learns she's taking her boring life for granted, blah blah blah, generic children's story. Where this movie tries to be different, however, is its forceful attempt to give you fucking nightmares. The inhabitants of this other dimension, or whatever, have buttons for eyes, and eventually try to convince Coraline that she should have buttons sewn into her eyes as well, which is pretty fucked up as it is. The best part, though, is when you see the results of the kids before Coraline who totally agreed to have their eyes impaled multiple times with a needle.
She said that she loved us, but she left us here and ate up our lives.
These are dead children who ran away from home and decided to have buttons sewn into their eyes. Isn't this movie just full of wonder and enchantment? This movie was made for kids, people. Go to your local video store and see what it's cataloged under. Chances are you're going to find it somewhere between Cinderella and Dr. Dolittle 2. Now, consider the fact that this movie was directed by the same guy that made Nightmare Before Christmas and James and the Giant Peach. Both movies I saw as a kid with no problem. But even as an adult, I just can't imagine this being a film kids love to watch every night before bed. But hey, I could be wrong. I mean, after all, the movie was nominated for an Academy Award. But go figure those nominations are picked by adults and not kids. My point is, there's a limit to the kind of creepy shit a kid can go through in a single movie that they're supposed to enjoy. If this top 10 I just made is any indication. Adults like being scared. Kids live with that shit until they're old enough to forget. Then again, I wasn't a particularly brave kid back in the day. Hell, I still curse the day I was introduced to salad fingers as a teenager. Fuck that guy. Nowadays, though, nothing ever scares me. Except for maybe those internet screamer videos. And the dark. Being murdered. Talking to girls. So those are my top 10 moments in movies and television that scared the bejesus out of me as a kid. Next time I'm going to review another movie from my childhood. A scary movie!